Welcome back to Real Family Secrets. Grab your snacks, get comfortable. The people in these stories had every chance to behave themselves, they just chose wrong. Drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. You're going to love it here. My name is Corinne Delacroix. The night I finalized my divorce, I changed my phone number at Penn Station, dropped my old SIM card into a trash can, and told myself my connection to Landon was over. What I didn't know was that one final consequence of his choices was already waiting for him in Queens. By the time I arrived at the station, Landon had spent 3 hours calling, texting, and leaving messages from numbers I didn't recognize. He had learned, one crisis at a time, that the life he built around intimidation, debt, lies, and control was finally collapsing. Earlier that afternoon, my attorney had confirmed the emergency order protecting me, the credit card fraud inquiry, and the property damage report from the apartment complex. Landon had thrown furniture from our balcony after I refused to return home and talk this out on his terms. He had always been good at making consequences sound like persecution. When he lost a client, it was sabotage. When a friend stopped answering his calls, it was betrayal. When a bill arrived, it was somebody else's fault. But that night, for the first time in 10 years, none of his explanations could reach me. I stood on the platform as the train doors opened, took my old phone from my coat pocket, and removed the SIM card with a small metal pin. It was such a tiny thing, a sliver of plastic, a number he had used to make me anxious before breakfast, guilty at dinner, afraid to sleep. I dropped it into the trash can beside the platform and inserted the new one. The city outside Penn Station was cold and bright, wet pavement reflecting gold from the streetlights. I walked out carrying one overnight bag, a folder from my attorney, and a strange lightness in my chest. I thought that was the end of the story. It wasn't. 3 days later, Pendleton called me while I was staying at my sister's apartment in Brooklyn. Her voice was calm, but I had worked with her long enough to recognize when calm meant something significant had just arrived. "Corinne," she said, "I need to ask whether Landon ever used your name or financial information to open accounts without your knowledge." I sat up in bed. Why? Because a detective from Queens contacted my office. They found records connected to an investigation involving a luxury goods resale operation. One of the names appearing in the transaction files is Landon Holloway. Another is yours. For a moment, I couldn't speak. What kind of records? Credit applications, delivery receipts, a storage unit agreement, and multiple online resale accounts. The detective believes Landon may have used your identity to purchase items, then sold them through third parties. Suddenly, several things I had never understood settled into place. The packages that had arrived while I was away, the designer watch he claimed was a gift from a client, the storage key I found in the pocket of his winter coat and assumed belonged to one of his consulting projects. I had thought the affair was the worst thing he had hidden from me. It turned out the affair was only the part he had been careless enough to let me see. Pendleton advised me not to contact Landon. Instead, we gathered every document I had, old tax returns, billing statements, copies of my identification, emails about unexplained deliveries, even a photograph I had taken months earlier of a stack of sealed boxes in the guest room. The detective's name was Carmen Ruiz. She met Pendleton and me in a small interview room at a precinct in Queens the next morning. Detective Ruiz was direct without being cold. She explained that a resale business owner had been arrested the previous week for buying luxury electronics and jewelry from people using stolen or manipulated accounts. "We don't believe Mr. Holloway was the organizer," she said, "but we found a pattern of purchases connected to his email addresses, delivery locations, and devices. Several of the applications were in your name." "I never authorized any of them." She slid a folder across the table. Inside were copies of applications bearing my name, my date of birth, and signatures that looked enough like mine to pass at a glance, but not enough to survive real examination. "That's not my handwriting," I said. "We thought so." The storage unit agreement contained Landon's signature. The delivery address was a rented mailbox in Queens, 2 subway stops from the apartment he had moved into after our separation. And one of the resale payments had been deposited into an account connected to Brielle, the woman he had lied to during the affair. I didn't feel satisfaction when I saw her name. Brielle had made choices, but she had also been lied to by a man who made deception feel normal as long as it benefited him. I called her only after Pendleton confirmed it would not interfere with the investigation. She answered on the 4th ring. "Corinne, I need to tell you something," I said. Not to hurt you, not to ask anything from you, but the police found a resale account connected to your bank information. Landon may have used it without explaining what the money was for." "What?" she whispered. "Please speak to an attorney, and don't warn him that I called. My name is Corinne Delacroix." I believed him. "I know," I said. "I have messages," she continued. "He sent me photos of boxes and asked me to sign for delivery sometimes. He said they were client samples." "Send them to Detective Ruiz," I said, "not to me." Within 48 hours, Brielle provided the messages. The detectives traced the photographs to the Queen's storage unit, where they recovered unopened electronics, jewelry, counterfeit invoices, and a folder containing copies of identification documents. Mine was among them. Landon was arrested outside a coffee shop in Astoria on a Thursday afternoon. I wasn't there. I didn't watch. I learned about it from Pendleton later that evening, while I was cooking pasta at my sister's apartment. That detail matters to me. I did not need to see him in handcuffs to believe I was free. The criminal case took months. His attorney initially argued that I had known about the accounts, that the purchases had been part of Landon's consulting work, that the storage unit was merely a place to hold business inventory. But the evidence kept accumulating: forged signatures, unauthorized applications, deliveries made while I was traveling, messages to Brielle, and account records showing where the resale money had gone. The fraud affidavit I had filed before leaving was no longer just part of a divorce dispute. It became one piece of a much larger pattern. Landon eventually accepted a plea agreement. He was ordered to pay restitution to the people whose identities and accounts he had used, including me. The money matters, of course, but not as much as the official record stating that I had not participated in what he did. I moved into my own apartment 6 months later. It has big windows, a small kitchen, and absolutely no place where someone can stand behind me while I cook and make me afraid of saying the wrong thing. I bought a new phone. I chose the number myself. I kept my accounts separate. I changed every password. I learned how much peace can exist in a quiet room when nobody has access to your fear. Sometimes I think about that trash can at Penn Station. I thought I was throwing away a SIM card. What I was really throwing away was the last version of myself who believed I had to stay connected to someone just because he refused to let go. Landon spent years telling me I would never make it without him. In the end, he was right about one thing only. Someone did lose everything when I left. It just wasn't me. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real family stories and tell us in the comments, would you have warned Brielle or let the investigation find her on its own?
You walking laughing with your friends, whole room starts moving to your tempo. Yeah, your tempo. Yeah. Phone keys buzzing, but you got my focus. Name on my tongue like a favorite song. Sneakers on, hair a little messy. Still you hit different from everyone around. You spin the check, steal my spot on purpose. Say I've been hiding from the fun too long. You flip the script, flip my day in seconds. Turn routine into a sing-along. Yeah. You say stop playing, come closer. I feel the drum line in my chest. Every word you drop is pressure. Got me trying to do my best. Let's crank the volume till the neighbors learn your name. Let the rhythm trace the outline of your frame. Every little move you make rewrites my day. We turn this simple moment to a wave. You say you're busy but you never miss my calls. We keep on talking through the late AM. You send a picture with no warning. Now every beat I build starts with you again. You like to tease and cut the distance. Pull on my hoodie, drag me to the floor. You say don't overthink this moment. Just sing it like you never did before. We don't need a stage for this feeling. Yeah. Living room can be our world all day. You turn my doubts in the back and vocal. Yeah. Lift me up and keep my timing straight. So let's crank the volume till the neighbors learn. Let the rhythm trace the outline of your frame. Every little move you make rewrites my day. We turn this simple moment to a wave. If tomorrow tries to pull you far from me, you walking laughing with your friends, whole room start moving to your tempo. yeah, tempo. Yeah. Phone keys buzzing, but you got my focus. Name on my tongue like a favorite song. Sneakers on, hair a little messy. Still you hit different from everyone around. You spin the chest on my spot on purpose. Say I've been hiding from the fun too long. You flip the script, flip my day in seconds. Turn routine into a sing-along. Yeah. You say stop playing, come closer. I feel the drum line in my chest. Every word you drop is pressure. Got me trying to do my best. Let's crank the volume till the neighbors learn your name. Let the rhythm trace the outline of your frame. Every little move you make rewrites my day. We turn this simple moment to a wave. Oh, you say you're busy, but you never miss my calls. We keep on talking through the late AM. You send a picture with no warning. Now every beat I build starts with you again. You like to tease and cut the distance. Pull on my hoodie, drag me to the floor. You say don't overthink this moment. Just sing it like you never did before. We don't need a stage for this feeling. Yeah, living room can be our world tour day. You turn my doubts into backing vocals. Yeah, lift me up and keep my timing straight. So let's crank the volume till the neighbors learn your name. Let the rhythm trace the outline of your frame. Every little move you make rewrites my day. We turn this simple moment to a wave. If tomorrow tries to pull you far from me, I'll lace my melody into your routine. You laugh, you lean and say don't forget this sound. Now every beat I chase is where you're found on. Every beat I chase is where you're found. Oh, no.